Money, like any other force in life, can either lead to suffering or virtue. The key to transforming it into a tool for prosperity lies in understanding it from a deeper perspective, one that transcends the mere exchange of bills and coins. Money, like everything in life, is a reflection of our energy, our virtue, and how we manage it reflects who we truly are. In the context of Stoicism, it should be viewed not as an end in itself, but as a means for self-mastery, freedom, and true prosperity. I end this text. I present the 5 laws of money, not as magic formulas for quick wealth, but as fundamental principles that can help you apply Stoic virtues to your financial life. By mastering these laws, you will not only gain more control over what you own, but also understand how money can be an ally on the journey to inner tranquility. Law 1. Money as a reflection of personal value. For the Stoics, everything is about virtue and self-sufficiency. Money, in itself, has no intrinsic value. It is simply a reflection of the value you contribute to the world. In ancient times, trade was based on direct exchanges of goods, and later, gold symbolized human work and effort. Today, banknotes are merely symbols of trust, a representation of the value assigned to your work. Understanding this is the first step toward freeing yourself from anxiety about money. When you see money as a reflection of the value you offer, you begin to focus not just on working harder, but on working better. The true value is not in the hours spent, but in the impact you create. Therefore, the money you earn is, ultimately, a reflection of what you contribute to the world. Law 2. Money rewards value, not effort. Many people believe that financial success comes exclusively from hard work. But Stoicism teaches us that true rewards come from the intelligent use of our resources, including our time and energy. Money does not reward effort for the sake of effort, but rather the value that effort generates for others. You may work tirelessly on constructing a building or in an office, but if your contribution does not create lasting or meaningful value for the world, your reward will be limited. The real gain comes from creating solutions, from adding value in a smart way, and not simply from exerting physical and mental effort. Understanding this liberates you from the shackles of frustration and leads you to a more serene and productive existence. Law 3. Money is in your hands, but you are not its owner. According to Stoic principles, nothing in the world is under our absolute control, except our reaction to events. Money, however much it may seem like a personal achievement, is not permanent property. It can come and go, and its value should not determine our inner peace. We should not love money itself, but recognize its usefulness as a tool. Excessive attachment to it can become a source of distress. A true Stoic understands that material wealth does not define their worth as a human being. The secret lies in mastering money, not being mastered by it. By seeing money as a means to live in accordance with reason, you acquire a serene control over it. Law 4. Financial freedom lies in your ability to control your desires. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from mastering our desires. Money, like material pleasures, is a powerful force, but if you lack control over your desires, it can become a source of suffering. Wealth should not be the end, but the freedom to live in accordance with your own reason. When you learn to moderate your desires and act with prudence, money ceases to be an obsession and becomes a tool for creating a more balanced lifestyle focused on the pursuit of wisdom. True wealth, in Stoic terms, is the tranquility of the soul that comes from living with purpose, not excess. These 5 laws are not just financial guidelines, but also ethical and philosophical principles that can guide us toward a more virtuous and peaceful life. When understood and applied, they offer a framework for living a prosperous life, not just in terms of material wealth, but in a deeper, more meaningful sense. By incorporating Stoic wisdom into our approach to money, we can transform our relationship with wealth, turning it into a tool that supports our growth, freedom, and ultimate peace of mind. Law 5. Wisdom is the greatest treasure. Finally, the deepest of the laws of money, wisdom. True treasure does not reside in how much money you have, but in how you use it. Material wealth is fleeting, but knowledge and wisdom are eternal. For the Stoics, the greatest good we can accumulate is not gold or silver, but the wisdom that allows us to make the right decisions in any circumstance. Investing in your education, in your ability to make decisions based on reason and virtue, is the key to true prosperity. Money then becomes a reflection of the wisdom applied in our daily actions. When you are guided by reason and prudence, money flows to you naturally, as a consequence of your value and virtue. In summary, By applying these 5 Stoic laws to your financial life, you begin to see money not as an end in itself, but as a means to live with virtue, freedom, and wisdom. It is not about accumulating wealth for wealth's sake, but understanding money as a tool for self-mastery and inner peace. Always remember, true prosperity is not in how much you have, but in how much you are capable of being, with balance and purpose. Applying Stoic principles in practice. Money as a means to inner freedom. Now, let's explore how these concepts can be applied practically and deeply in your life, in light of Stoic teachings. When you pay for a meal at a restaurant, you're not just buying a plate of food, you are exchanging your resource, money, for something of value to you at that moment. The act of paying, therefore, is a manifestation of an exchange of value, and this is something Stoics recognize. Nothing is given without reason, and nothing should be desired without discernment. Money as a reflection of the value offered. Let's say you are the owner of a restaurant. If you want to increase your earnings, you must ask yourself, how can I offer more value to my customer? It's not just a matter of doing more, but of adding value in a differentiated way. An extra dish or more attentive service might be the ways in which you transform your effort into a value that justifies the exchange with others. When you offer value intelligently and authentically, others, the customers, will be more willing to pay for it. From a Stoic perspective, money is a tool that flows to those who know how to use it wisely and virtuously. It is not excessive effort or mindless hustle that attracts prosperity, but the wisdom of how to offer something of true value to the world. As Epictetus would say, it is not hard work that brings peace, but work aligned with reason. The limitation of money and freedom through offering value. Here is a thought that connects us to truth. We, as human beings, cannot create money. Only banks can create new currency. However, as individuals, we can attract more money by offering more value. This applies to any area. A doctor, for example, is rewarded with more financial resources than a supermarket cashier, not because they work harder, but because they offer a unique, valuable, and often essential service. The true key is understanding that it is not simple physical effort that will bring you more money. If what you do can easily be replaced, the reward will be proportional to your substitutability. To generate greater value, and consequently attract more resources, you must strive for excellence in something unique, something only you can offer in a profound and distinctive way. True freedom is not in material accumulation. Now, let's delve deeper into a concept that Stoics would understand well: true freedom. Many people believe that being rich means having luxury cars or grand mansions. However, this is a limited view. For Stoics, true wealth is not in material things, but in inner freedom. Being rich, in this view, means having the freedom to act according to reason, without being trapped in a job or a life that does not resonate with your deepest values. Imagine you've accumulated 1 million reis. If you spend 100,000 reis per month, in no time the money will disappear. In this case, you would still be caught in the cycle of material need, where your behavior toward money is not governed by reason, but by the endless pursuit of more. Now, envision a wiser approach. Let's suppose your monthly expenses are 3,000 reis, but your investments generate passive income of 3,500 reis per month. This represents true freedom. Your assets sustain your lifestyle, and you have the freedom to choose how to live. True wealth, therefore, is not in the possession of material goods, but in the ability to live with freedom, without being tied to the cycle of scarcity or the fear of losing what you have. To achieve this freedom, you must cultivate assets that grow sustainably. This can be done through investments in real estate, stocks, or other sources of passive income. By building a portfolio of assets that sustain your expenses, you achieve a freedom that transcends the mere accumulation of goods. Money as a tool that requires discipline and direction. Finally, let's address one of the most practical and fundamental laws. Money needs clear instructions to grow. An essential principle of Stoicism is the control of the mind and the deliberate practice of reason. Your money, just like your actions, must be guided by a clear purpose and a defined strategy. If you do not direct money wisely, it will remain stagnant, failing to yield the fruits it could. To achieve this, you need to create a personal financial system. One example of this might be the 70-15-10 method: 70% of your budget directed toward your essential needs, 15% toward investments, and 10% toward savings or emergencies. This creates a discipline in the use of money, allowing it to grow in a controlled manner, while you live according to the principles of virtue and self-control. Through the Stoic lens, the practice of financial planning is a way of applying reason to the material world. Just as the mind needs discipline to achieve tranquility, money requires clear instructions to generate sustainable prosperity. Therefore, by applying these principles to your financial life, you begin to use money not as an end in itself but as a tool to achieve inner freedom, self-control, and, above all, true wealth, peace of mind. It's not about working harder, but about working with more wisdom and virtue. And by doing so, you will not only enrich yourself materially but also live a life more aligned with Stoic principles of serenity and self-sufficiency, money and Stoic wisdom, controlling desire and building freedom. As the Stoics taught, true wealth does not lie in material possessions or the relentless pursuit of more, but in mastering the mind and seeking inner serenity. When we reflect on how to manage money wisely, we realize it is merely a tool to help us achieve a life of freedom and virtue. Therefore, when looking at our finances, we should act with discernment, seeking not only to accumulate wealth but to use it in a way that strengthens our freedom and leads us to a balanced life. The 70-15-10 rule: order, discipline, and wisdom. Imagine that for every real you earn, you allocate 75% for your daily needs, 15% for investments, and 10% for building an emergency reserve. Stoic philosophy teaches us that by mastering our desires and acting with self-control, we can live more fully. By living with 75% of what you earn, you are practicing the discipline of limiting excess and embracing what is necessary, a practice of self-sufficiency that brings tranquility. If the government raised taxes, you would adjust, right? Similarly, by adopting this strategy, you are simply adjusting to the reality that true wealth comes from prudent management and anticipating future needs. As the Stoic knows, true peace does not come from abundance, but from control over what one has, the challenge of implementation. It's natural to question how best to make your money grow. The key is investing. Like a farmer who plants a seed, expecting to reap the harvest in the future, an investor does the same. By investing, you are putting your money into fertile ground, whether it be in stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrencies. However, remember that, as in life, wisdom and discernment are essential. Choosing wisely where to invest is the foundation for a prosperous future. The Stoics teach us to be cautious and to analyze situations with clarity. The same approach should be applied to investing. Study, plan, and invest with reason, just as any wise person seeks virtue in every step. The myth that investing is for the rich: perhaps you think investing is a privilege for those who already have a lot of money. This is a misconception. The 70-15-10 rule can be applied regardless of how much you earn. True wealth comes from the ability to discipline yourself and invest in what matters in the long term. If you earn 1,000 reis, then adjust your spending: 700 reis for your needs, 150 reis for investments, and 100 reis for savings. This behavior creates a solid foundation and, over time, allows you to build true wealth, the freedom to choose how to live. The role of money in our lives, a Stoic perspective. Now, let's reflect on the role of money in a deeper way. Some say that money doesn't bring happiness, and this is a view that is not entirely wrong. However, money does play an important role in our lives, not as the end, but as a means to live fully and freely. From the Stoic perspective, money is like a tool that, when used wisely, can facilitate virtue, tranquility, and inner freedom. That I often think of the quadrifocal triangle, a metaphor that represents life in 4 essential dimensions: physical, mental, spiritual, and financial. Money impacts all of these aspects, but not in isolation. Let's reflect. Physical health. No matter how much money you have, if your health is not preserved, none of it will matter. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of caring for the body as the temple of the soul. Mental health. If you live in constant anxiety or sadness, money will not be able to buy inner peace. Here, the mind must be cultivated through philosophy, reflection, and acceptance. Spiritual health. What is your higher purpose? For the Stoic, life is a constant pursuit of virtue and self-knowledge. Money cannot buy meaning, but it can be used to support a life dedicated to wisdom and personal mission. Financial health. Money, when well managed, is a tool that allows you to live without external pressures, but it should never be the primary focus. Without financial control, the other aspects of life may deteriorate, causing distress and insecurity. Financial health is essential for peace of mind and fulfillment. Money and financial education. The path to wisdom. True freedom comes from a deep understanding and the application of financial principles with discipline and wisdom. Money is just one part of your life, and knowing how to use it is a reflection of how you control your mind and emotions. Financial education is a vital tool for making rational decisions and not being a slave to emotions and impulses. With the right knowledge, you can apply reason and make choices that not only alleviate financial tensions but also allow for a life full of freedom and possibilities. By mastering your relationship with money, you gain the freedom to live according to your highest principles. The path to transformation in your journey of financial and personal growth. Remember that knowledge without action leads to no change. Just as in Stoic philosophy, it is daily practice that transforms life. It is not enough to learn about money, you must apply the lessons it offers. The Stoic checklist for financial success. Reflection on the value you offer. Ask yourself, am I offering genuine value to the world through my work? The pursuit of excellence and virtue should be your primary motivation. Development of a personal financial plan. Use the 70-15-10 rule to structure your finances in a balanced and rational way, increasing your assets. Rather than focusing on immediate consumption, invest in assets that grow over time and bring freedom. Continuous education. Constant learning about finances and investments is essential. Just as Stoicism teaches that knowledge should be a daily practice, financial education must also be cultivated. Money is merely a tool, a means, not an end. True wealth comes from mastery over the mind and the wise use of resources. Through disciplined practice and the application of financial knowledge, you can build a life that is not governed by fear or scarcity, but by freedom and peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us that the greatest good is tranquility of the soul, and money, when used wisely, can be a valuable ally on that journey. Now, think, how are you applying these lessons in your life? Change begins with the decision to act with wisdom and virtue. The path to financial freedom. The Stoic challenge. As the ancient Stoics taught, freedom is not gained through external means, but through inner peace and the discipline of thought. Money, therefore, should not be viewed as a source of pleasure or status, but as a tool to live in greater alignment with your values and principles. True financial freedom does not come from accumulating wealth, but from knowing how to live self-sufficiently and balanced, without being enslaved by external circumstances. The practice of self-sufficiency. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "True freedom is living in accordance with reason, not according to desires." In the financial context, this means being able to live with what you have, without longing for what is beyond what is necessary. Self-sufficiency is not just a moral virtue but a daily practice. By cultivating a simple lifestyle focused on the essentials, you avoid the trap of endlessly chasing more, which diverts us from true happiness. The power of detachment. The practice of detachment, central to Stoicism, also applies to money. The Stoics teach that we should use money without becoming dependent on it. Money is not an end in itself, but a means to achieve a virtuous life. By learning to detach from the need for more, you reach a state of inner freedom, able to resist the temptation of reckless consumerism and impulsive desires. For example, instead of spending every extra penny on items that do not add real value to your life, you might choose to invest in assets that will ensure your financial freedom in the long term. This is a constant exercise in mental discipline, putting into practice the wisdom that less is more, and that true happiness does not depend on material possessions, but on the ability to live simply and focus on what truly matters. The importance of a long-term mindset. The Stoics teach us to see life from a broad, long-term perspective. The pursuit of virtue and self-development is not something to be achieved quickly, but over the course of a lifetime. Similarly, when it comes to money, true wealth is not the result of quick gains or sudden fortunes, but the gradual accumulation of value through prudent and well-planned investments. Investing, therefore, should be seen as a long-term practice. When you apply the Stoic principle of focusing on what is permanent and enduring, you develop a mindset that prioritizes sustainable growth and financial security, rather than seeking immediate solutions that may be fleeting. Living according to nature. The Stoic concept of living in accordance with nature applies directly to how you handle money. It means recognizing that money, in and of itself, is neutral, and that it is we who assign meaning to it. Just as nature teaches us to accept what we cannot control, money should be treated with acceptance and discernment. We should not let it dominate us but use it as a tool to live with greater freedom and balance. how can you apply this in practice? Instead of obsessively trying to control every detail of your finances or living in fear of scarcity, adopt a balanced approach. Organize your budget so that you have security, but without clinging to consumption patterns that take you away from what is truly essential. Do not be led by an insatiable quest for more. The goal is not to possess, but to live fully, with what you truly need. Financial education, the path to virtue. Just as the Stoics valued philosophical education, we should also place importance on financial education. Financial wisdom, when applied correctly, can be a powerful ally in building a balanced and virtuous life. The goal is not to accumulate wealth for selfish pleasure, but to build a solid foundation that allows us to live according to our highest principles. Financial education is, in fact, an exercise in self-control and discernment. Learning to manage money wisely is not just about accumulating more, but knowing how to use it to enhance the quality of life without being enslaved by it. This is what Stoic philosophers would call living according to reason, that is, not being guided by fleeting emotions and desires, but by a conscious and considered choice. Money as a tool for inner peace. By learning to manage your finances, you are, in practice, seeking peace of mind. Well-managed money can be a way to eliminate one of the most common sources of stress, worry about survival and financial stability. As Seneca said, it is not what we have, but what we do with what we have, that defines our peace of mind. When your financial foundation is solid, you have the freedom to live with more calm, to pursue self-development, and to dedicate your time to the things that truly matter. Therefore, money should not be seen as an end, but as a means to achieve true freedom, inner freedom. The final Stoic reflection. Through all the lessons we've discussed, the main reflection that a Stoic would have is about what you truly desire from life. Money should not be the goal, but a tool to achieve deeper goals, such as virtue, self-development, and serenity. So, as you apply these lessons in your life, remember that control over money is, in fact, control over yourself. It is the ability to live according to what is essential, to seek inner freedom, and not to be enslaved by material desires. True wealth lies in mastering our emotions and using wisely the tools that life offers us. Ultimately, financial freedom is the freedom to live according to our principles, to be self-sufficient, and to seek the common good without the pressure of consumerism or scarcity. Money is merely a means to this, and as such, it should be treated with respect, but never with attachment. Now, with this wisdom in mind, you are ready to apply these Stoic principles to your financial life. They are not just abstract concepts, but daily practices that, when followed with rigor and attention, can transform your relationship with money and, in turn, transform your life.